Good morning. Unmasking laziness. What the hell does that mean? Well, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right. Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday. It is May 13th, 2021. And it's 7 a.m. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. Um, so had some nice weather yesterday, which was nice. And it was beautiful yesterday, gorgeous. And I did not go outside. I'm, I'm embarrassed to say. Stayed home. I worked on a lot of things at home, but didn't enjoy the sun. So I'm kind of upset about that. Today I'm gonna be doing some stuff. I'm gonna be heading out. Probably be out for most of the day, and that should be fun. But yeah, if you do get a chance, you get an opportunity to go outside. It's a beautiful day. You should just go outside for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, go take a walk around the block. I was thinking with it, but I got involved and I did not do it. So whatever. Um, so I want to talk a little bit about something that I kind of, I don't know if I made the expression up, but unmasking laziness. And it was something that I was sort of addressing on myself. I wanted to see like what was it because I get a lot of this from people. I don't know how you do it, man. I don't know how you do it. You get up at you get up early, you do your show, you got the other show, making movies, you're doing and then I'm looking at it and I'm like, I consider myself sort of like lazy. I'm trying to overcome some stuff, like literally I'm trying to push through constantly, trying to push through, and I'm always trying to figure out what is it that I'm doing that I should be doing more of, or what is it that I shouldn't be doing, or what is it that I uh want to do but haven't been able to push myself to do. So there's a lot of different ways of that I look at it, and so I'm trying to unmask where my laziness is coming from. Like, what is it? Is it something that I don't like? I like doing all the things that I'm doing, right? I mean, I enjoy the stuff that I'm working towards and working on. Adventures that we have coming up, we're working towards, my family and I. And I think in about 2 weeks, we'll have some announcements and on things happening. But I sometimes find myself feeling lazy, like, and I'm always curious to find out why that is, because I really do enjoy doing what I'm doing. So I'm unmasking laziness, trying to get the mask off, trying to figure out what the hell that is. So there's a couple of steps here that I was looking at. A lot of this is really sort of internal. Looking towards myself. It's a very, I'm kind of, and hopefully this will be something that you can look at and be like, oh yeah, that'll be helpful to you guys as well, because that's really the whole point of why we're all here, right? To try to help each other. And so let me see. I got this. So getting started when you really don't feel like doing, what I mean, like that you get that you just don't feel like doing anything. Like you don't feel like doing whatever it is you're supposed to be doing. And with Nike, right? Nike, of course, had it, just do it. We solved it, just do it. And there is some sort of validity to that. It's a saying that, it's like when you don't want to do it and you really are depressed about doing it, just do it. Ignore your feelings, right? And and just do the work and do the exercising. Go write your book. Go put those posts up there. Create that content. Do your podcast. Just ignore your feelings. That's kind of like a tough one, but that to me is really the most important one, and it's sort of like how I operate when I to get stuff done. I don't think about having to do the stuff. I just go and I start doing them. Now that sounds like I'm psyching myself out in a way, and yeah, I am. I'm just not putting the my attention on the fact that I don't want to do something. So for instance, there's certain things that I don't enjoy doing, but I do them. Not that I don't enjoy them, but for instance, I'm a real estate agent here in Bayonne, and every 2 years you have to take a an educational class, and you got to get a certificate, and you got to do it. And of course, this year is online, so I had to do that, and it was just a very long process, a 12-hour course. Plus, I had to take a test at the end, and I had to pass it in order to get my certificate. And so it was a little bit of a pressure thing. And I went on, and I kept ignoring it, and I kept just not because I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it. I'm like saying, so yesterday, I instead of thinking about it, I just sat down. My wife was here, so she had the kids. So I was like, all right, and I started working on some stuff, and then I just went to my to that website. I punched it up. I signed into my account, and then I just started reading the first question. I started reading the second one, and I finished. I finished. I took my test. I passed, and I got my certificate. I sent it to my office, and I'm done for the next. I think it's every 2 years you have to take these educational courses and stuff. So I'm done. But I did not want to do it, and that actually is what prompted. Um, I had the idea for this show, and I was thinking about unmasking laziness, and I thought to myself, one of the things is thinking, thinking about those things that you don't want to freaking do. And I just thought, you know what, man, I ain't gonna think about nothing, which is it's a skill. And I just said, I'm just gonna sit here. I'm just gonna get it done. And I just sat there, and it was done. So ignore sometimes your feelings of not wanting to do it and just do them anyway. If they're really important and you have to do them, then obviously you need to do them. If it's something that you have to do for your family or for work, so you don't lose your job, a promise you made to somebody that you should be on top of, all those things you should do. And I'm guilty of all of it, not wanting to do it. You know what I mean? But if you would just keep moving, and like Nike said, I mean, just do it is does make sense. You know what I mean? Now, not related to cheap sneakers that are way too expensive, but related to doing the things that you should be doing. Okay, um so if you're not, sometimes you can get overwhelmed, and this is the next one that I want to talk about. Sometimes you can get overwhelmed with how many things you have to do. Sometimes I'll look at my little book over here, and I have a list, just a list that goes on and on and on, and it's things having to do with family stuff. There's things here. I can read a couple of these. I had to do some photos for the church that I was not for the church, but for the homeschooling program that takes place at the church. I had to do a photo shoot for them. I took like 200 and something photos. I had to upload them onto their site because they're making a yearbook. I had to. This was before I had to finish my film, which I did finish. I had to create an account on Film Freeway, which is a site and all these things. And so, the list just goes on, and it's pages long. And then when I get them done, I check them off, and a lot of them are checked off. A couple of them I have to go back and try to figure out. But it gets overwhelming sometimes, and you're just like, oh my gosh, Plus, I'm on a course at my church. I'm trying to get through that. I had to do that real estate course, which I'm thankful I did. And it's just one thing after another, one thing after another. And it can get overwhelming, and that can stifle someone from actually working because it's just too much. And you have to start thinking about the concern, right? If you're thinking outward, right? If you're proactive, right, then your circle of influence is out, right? And you're out there, and you're doing that. But if you're reactive, if your focus is just reactive, then that circle of influence is in, and the circle of concern, right? You get constantly concerned is coming in. So rather if you think out, if you think outward, you're putting energy out into the world, and just think with that. That's a much better way of saying, like, I got all this stuff on me and it's on me, because then you're just introverting yourself. So think outward, think with things that are energy that you're putting out into the world, no matter what it is. Like the photos I took for the homeschooling program, that's energy I put out into the world. Those pictures are going to appear in a nice yearbook, and these parents are going to be seeing those photos for their whole lives of their children during this special time. That's energy that I put out, and I'm positive. I feel good about that. I did a photo shoot for a Zumba instructor here in Bayonne. Um, Again, energy. She's putting those photos out there. She loves the photos, and she's putting out that energy out there. And it's kind of starts with you. And so think of yourself as a beacon of light that will put out positive energy into the world. Okay. The next one is, sometimes there are things you have to do that are extremely boring and repetitive, tedious. Um, and you just don't enjoy doing them at all. And that part of it is is that part is something that's difficult, because that if you can overcome this part, you will have tremendous success. You will be able to to create the projects and do the things that you want to do, and create the lifestyle that you want to have, right? If you're able to handle these things, because a lot of the things that we do in art, for instance, in filmmaking, or a lot of it is really boring. Even filmmaking itself, sometimes when you're on a film set, the exciting part is when you're performing, right? But the stuff getting to that performance is very tedious. You got to do lighting, you got to make sure everybody knows their lines, you got to rehearse, you have to do the blocking, which is where everybody stands and moves around on a shot. um there's just very tedious things. And then when the film is done, then you have to go edit it, and you got to sit there and look at all the scenes and cut them and put them together. And if you're not into that stuff, it becomes very boring and very tedious, and you're doing the same thing over and over again. And if you can overcome that, man, you will be on top of the world, because that stuff, it's the stuff that nobody sees, right? Everybody sees the film when they're done, and they're like, wow, how do you do that? But nobody sees, like, for instance, this little thing that I made back here, right? I have to make all these things for all the shows that I'm doing, right? So I'll have, like, even the opening of the thing, I had to put this together and edit it, right? It's tedious. It's not a fun thing. The photos that you put together, this logo for one of my other shows put together, I had to do that. um the flyer for my film, that I have to put together that. Some of the stuff for the merchandise that I have for the other thing that I do, I had to put that together. So all these things, they're very boring, they're very tedious. And because I'm not a graphic person, as you can tell by some of the artwork, I think, although I like this one I think came out nice, but the other stuff is just not, it's pretty basic stuff. But I had to sit there, and I had to sit, and I had to figure it out. And it takes time, and you have to put the work in, because that's what you want to do. And unless you're going to pay somebody to do it, you got to do it. You just got to do it. So that's part of the whole thing. If you can manage to get through that whole boring, repetitive, and tedious part of whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, then you will be success. You will be success. You will be successful, or you will be success. Sure, why not? You can be success. Another one is, it's just, this has been a difficult one for me, but I think it's a good thing to have other people to do it with. So have friends, for instance, to collaborate and to run ideas by. And for me, it hasn't been 100% successful, although I have great people around me that I do actually interact with and ask questions about. I have a couple of two in particular filmmakers now that I really trust a lot, and that I have great communications with. Brian Pollock and Daryl Denner. two great filmmakers, really great guys, and I feel like I can trust them. When I say when I want to if I want to collaborate with them. Um, but in the past, it's been difficult. It's been difficult to try to put businesses together because you end up doing most of the work, or somebody just doesn't really do the things that you're supposed to do to kind of get the business going. They don't do the research on their own. They don't do the tedious, boring stuff of sitting there and learning how to do stuff. And if somebody's not doing that, then they're not interested in the business, and then the business will fail. And I've had businesses, meow, 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 a lot of them just tank one after the other, constantly. Um, and it becomes, it's sad, but you learn, right? I learned from all my experiences and from all my failures, and but doing it with somebody, if you can find someone that doesn't invalidate you, that is just as positive and as passionate about what you're doing, that when you're not with them are still doing it. Very important. When they come to you with things that they've been working on, and you're like, oh, wow, okay, I didn't know you were doing that. That's awesome. That is super exciting when they come to you with the thing. Not when they come to you, because, all right, so what are we doing today? If they come to you with, like, so what are we doing today? Well, what did you do last night? I didn't do anything. I was waiting for you. People that's constantly, people who are lazy, AF. They're like, I was waiting for you. I don't know. I was waiting for you. You said we were gonna. I'm waiting for you. When people say I was waiting for you, it's a really red flag. You want to walk away. Not walk away as a friend, but you want to just not really get into business with them. So, um, definitely make sure that yeah, and sometimes people stay with it a little bit too long, and it feeds into laziness. You talk about unmasking laziness, which is what we're talking about. All these things create laziness, right? Because the boring and tedious stuff, you don't want to do that. It's boring and it's tedious, right? But the first one is like, just do it. I mean, forget your feelings, forget your emotions for a second, and just know that's what's stopping you. Just do the actual action, and the action itself will snowball into something more exciting and will get you more pumped up as you move along. Okay. um so this one is important. Stop waiting until you have enough information. Stop waiting until you have enough time. Stop waiting until that check comes in. People are waiting for their stimulus checks. Yo, when that check comes in, man, then I'm going to make it happen. You watch. When I move to this place, then it's going to be awesome. As soon as I put this thing together, that's going to be great. As soon as I get this, as soon as I get that, you know, and people just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and not doing anything and sitting at home and getting older and getting not better because they're not even taking the time to educate themselves, or to get enough motivation to continue moving forward, even though you're still waiting for something. They're not even doing that. This is a cancer. This is dangerous stuff. Stop waiting, just do it. Like people who are filmmakers and stuff, and I see them that they're not making films, or that they're working on their film, and I'm like, it's been like forever. um like I'll go and I'll shoot a film, and then I have trouble editing it because I suck at it, right? Now I have to teach myself how to edit. Now moving forward, I'm gonna be able to do it. I'm gonna be able to do that. The sound and the color and all that stuff, I had to get people to do it, but now I have two people, and they're all over the world. I have one in Berlin and the other one in Pakistan. They're both great, and they both worked on my last film, and they gave me what I wanted, and it was great. So now moving forward, because I did the tedious stuff of researching and finding someone, it's going to get better and better. But there was a period of time where I was falling into that trap. I was waiting for something. I don't know what the hell I was waiting for, to be honest. But I'm not waiting anymore. So this becomes something that you can control. You can just say, you know what, even though I am waiting for that thing, I'm not going to just sit here and not do anything. I'm going to continue to work on something. I'm going to put something together. I'm going to create. I'm going to keep creating. And that's the key thing. Create is the three magic words. Yeah, I know it's the same word, but I'm just saying. um so taking the first step is very important. um and when you're procrastinating, and there's no reason for it. Some people do that, and everybody has those days, and you can be like, yeah, I'm gonna get it. I gotta do it. Yeah, I know. I gotta do that. I know. I gotta. Oh God, I know. All right, yeah, and you know what? All right, I'm gonna do it. I'll do it next week. I'll do it on Monday morning. Monday morning. Then Monday comes around, and you forget, or you don't do it, or you like, you know what? Tuesday. It's only Monday. Still have the whole week. It's only Tuesday. I'm gonna do it Tuesday. Then Wednesday comes around. It's still Wednesday. I mean, Wednesday is in the middle of the week. You know what I mean? You know what? At the end of this week, I'll do it because then the weekend's coming up, and I can relax. I'm gonna do it at the end of the week, and then the weekend comes by. You know what? Monday, and next thing you know, you got another week wasted, right? Um, so you have to try to convince yourself to take that first step, and even if it's a tiny step forward, you have to take that whole just do it from number one. You have to really just take that first step in the direction of something that you want to do, and it can be a little difficult, but it's one of those things that when you do it, when you get that one little piece done, you'll feel so it'll and it's hard to explain that feeling, but especially when you complete it, like yesterday when I was sitting here dreading doing this real estate thing, and they're talking about easements and flood zones and things that are interesting, and you have to know them for your clients and stuff like that, but just really boring. And I'm really just like, if I needed to know this information for my client, I'm not just going to guess it out of my head. I'm going to go research it, and I'm going to go find the proper thing to tell them. You know what I mean? I'm not just going to wing it, right? But you have to know it for this thing. And I just was dreading doing this. And but when I did that first question, that second question, when I completed it, the the accomplishment, the level of accomplishment was just so high for me. I felt like I did something even great. And then I'm looking back and I'm thinking, okay, John, you didn't do that. It wasn't that great. Relax yourself, Mr. Huang. It wasn't that great. Um, but I was extremely grateful that I was able to take that first step and push myself. Okay. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is how you unmask laziness. Go back, take these again. I'll read them. I'll read them again just to reiterate them. Look at the first thing you want to do is you want to just do it, right? You want to ignore your feelings, right? Just do it. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't overwhelm yourself. Make sure you have a good list, and that you're thinking with the circle of concern is out there, the circle of influence, that you're pushing stuff that's going to influence others. So everything you're working on is outward. Okay, think with that. The stuff that's really boring and repetitive and tedious, find ways to do small portions of that until you can get yourself more jazzed up about it. But it is the first one also. You have to do it. And it is the thing also that's going to get you to that next level, right? Find friends, people that you trust with what you're doing, and also stop waiting for things to be perfect so you can start. Just screw it, let's do it. That's a book by Richard Branson, by the way, a great book called Screw It, Let's Do It. And it's basically lessons in life and business, and it's got some great stuff in there. And then when you take that first step, it's important to just decide, okay, I'm going to take that first step and I'm going. All right. So I hope that helps. I hope everyone's having a wonderful morning out there. Enjoy your day. And I'll see you all tomorrow morning. If you like this, please like, share, and subscribe with your friends, and tell people that there's this little Puerto Rican guy that every morning at 7 a.m. he comes on, and sometimes he says things that kind of are helpful. Maybe you should check him out. Maybe you should just check him out. You know, um, I would appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'll see you all tomorrow morning. Make today great. Do the things that you love. Take care of yourselves. And as always, peace.